to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler. I'm trying to get my tie squared away here, folks. I've got a great show. Hopefully, Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez will be here shortly. Going to talk about the OJ situation with him, his legacy. The Shohei Ohtani looks like he's clear legally, but still haven't heard anything from him on the Major League Baseball investigation. Ask him about that. Plus, hey, listen, Jalen Brunson. You know, no Randall and these guys, big win last night. They're a 3 seed, at a possibility at a 2 seed before the playoffs start. Could Brunson be an MVP? Plus, I'll get Carlos's opinion on I'll get his opinion on the NCAA tournaments and everything else. So stand by. Hopefully, we'll be back here in exactly 49 seconds. We'll hit the ground running here on Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends. All right, now I'm back here live. Got Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez backstage here. Let me go ahead and bring him up. Hey, man, how you doing today?
Hey, happy Friday.
Friday at last, Friday at last. God almighty, it's Friday at last. Like Martin Luther King would say, if he were alive today. All right, now, not sure where to start at. You know what? Can we tackle this Ohtani thing, dude?
What we say? We talked about this.
Yeah.
What I say? He should have just got suspended right off the bat.
So you're saying even though the feds this week have come out and did a press conference and saying that he had no wrongdoing in this thing, the number wasn't 4.5, $16 million.
That's crazy.
From 2021 to 2023. Okay, we're talking 3 seasons. Hear me out here, and I want the audience to hear this too. If I could get all this squared away. All right. This is an estimate, in air quotes, of Ohtani's earnings from 2021 to 2023. All right? Bear with me, audience. $3 million from Major League Baseball in 21, 5.5 in 22, 30 in 23. That's from Major League Baseball. I understand he has endorsement deals. Some say he's making between 30 and 40 million in endorsement deals. 40 is more going forward after he really had that great season last year. Even if we say he's made 40 million in endorsement deals over the last, let's go high end. That's 4, 8, 120 million plus the 38 I just mentioned from Major League Baseball. $154 million. All right. Are you trying to tell me now, according to these investigators today, I want to update everybody. This guy, Ohtani, gave him his account information. He couldn't speak English. So he gave him all his banking information since he's trusted him for 10 years, yada, yada, yada. And this guy was using this stuff over the phone, making wire transfers from one account to another over this 3-year period because Ohtani trusted him. All right. I also want to note that Ohtani did not make a complaint. He did not make an air quote police report in these 3 years. All this come to fruition because of the investigation that the Southern District of California, the federal agency in California, was investigating this illegal bookmaker. Then it came out to Ohtani putting money in the interpreter's account. Let me ask you, he still made a lot of money over the last 3 years. Would you not notice 16 million out of, let's estimate to 150? That's more than 10% of your earnings. You would not notice that and call the bank or have him call the bank and make some kind of complaint. Okay, it's like, oh, my taxes, this and that. Where is this money coming out of my account from? So what do you think? Because Colin Cowherd thinks that he's totally innocent, and people get taken. He's like, people get taken advantage of. Of course, he's out of Fox Sports. He's out of LA. To me, it comes off as a conflict of interest, but that's just me. What's your opinion on what I just saw? These are the facts, dude. This is what the federal agency says.
If they need to come out with how much money was the initial amount that was, because he can't. Maybe it was initially $4 million, and it ended up being he had 16 million after winning and losing. Like they don't explain none of this stuff, right? They're just throwing money out there. And I'm like, if this guy's gambling, does he have any wins?
Yeah.
Right.
And okay, that's a good question. And I got that answer because I just listened to this 18-minute press conference from earlier this week because I want to discuss it with you. All right. The investigator says that none of the money went back into Ohtani's account. It went into the interpreter's account. But what these idiot reporters did not ask in a follow-up, okay, was there any cash advances out of the interpreter's account, okay, to maybe possibly feed Ohtani where it doesn't look like there's a paper trail on the winnings? That was not asked. Like I said before, people don't want to know.
Right.
They want to look the other way.
I mean,
if you have a real hard-hitting reporter like me from Allstate, I'm going to be like, your boy from the Allstate, I'm going to be like, hey, listen, was there any advances? How come he didn't make a police report? That's 10% of your earnings, man.
Right. Plus it's 16, you started out with 4 million that you said was stolen. That's the number.
Yeah, that's 4 times the amount.
That's 4 times. Exactly. So it was this guy. Did he take 4 and make 16?
No, he supposedly took 16.
And made what?
Well, he won here and there. They didn't say how much he was winning, but he did win some.
Well,
obviously.
To me, it just sounded like losing. It just sounded like, but you.
It sounds like he was betting on everything but the sun coming up.
I mean, that's a whole mess there that they need to just stop talking about. If it's his money, just suspend it. Like I said, suspend it for 10 games. It ain't going to hurt nobody. If he didn't do it, fine. He was suspended because he was guilty by association. If he did do it, then just tack on the 10 to 20 games to suspend him. I don't understand why
this guy's facing several years in prison. Bank fraud. These are IRS. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff he's getting faced with.
He don't even have a real resume.
No, and he's making $300 to $500 million or $1,000 a year from I think the Dodgers were paying him to be Ohtani's interpreter. He's known the guy for 10 years.
He didn't make enough money on his own to bet his own money. You know what I'm saying?
None of this adds up.
But
you love the way our national media just, like I said, Colin Cowherd, he's a powerful voice, man. Jason McIntyre, also with Fox Sports. Yeah, and just not. I'm thinking, dude, really, man? You're not, even if you got it like that, I'm going to know. A friend of mine stole some money from me some years ago. I had like $200. He stole $40 out of my wallet, dude. I confronted him. We got it squared away. I don't trust him anymore. I'm going to notice if 10% of my earnings are out of my account, even if you got it like that, right?
There's so much paper trails and there's not. They don't break it down. They're just saying that this guy's been doing things. He knows Ohtani. He's associated with him.
Yeah.
He works with him. That's Ohtani's money. Look,
this guy's he might not have that many priors. He may plead this down and get a few years. And I think, this is my opinion, I think Ohtani's going to hook him up afterwards. Ohtani is smart enough to put his big contract, his $700 million contract, off where it doesn't hit till several years from now. You don't think this guy's smart enough to keep up with his money? None of this adds up, dude.
And I've heard
it's only what you can prove, though, right, Carlos?
Right. And I've heard as well that even though he has an interpreter, he speaks pretty decent English. He just uses an interpreter like
he does speak English.
That's what people
you saying Ohtani does know English?
Yeah, that understands enough English that he doesn't need an interpreter.
Wow. See, I don't want this stuff to be right. I didn't want Rafael Palmeiro 15, 20 years ago to get caught using steroids after he says, I did not. Remember, he said the famous, I did not use steroids. And then the next year they found out he
didn't stop.
I believe Palmeiro at the time when he said that.
Listen, so, man, I mean, what is?
Do you buy this, by the way?
I think everybody's guilty till they're proven innocent.
Okay, I thought it was
I'm from that.
I'm just using some common sense here.
Like this whole P. Diddy thing, it's same thing. He's guilty until proven innocent, and nothing's going his way. So,
yeah, and for the record, the baseball has not said they're done with their investigation. I don't think Ohtani's going to get in any. We just found out this week he's not going to get in any criminal trouble here. So
I still think he should get some kind of like slap on the wrist.
Because it just doesn't add up. That
even if it don't add up, you just have to set a precedent to the players that don't do what you're not supposed to be doing, right?
Right. Especially since this guy was saying that Ohtani knew about this stuff, and
this is a lot of MLB is like one of the only leagues in sports that front money, like they pay you like up front. You know what I'm saying?
Do they really?
Yeah,
Yeah, they got a really good union and all that.
The signing bonuses is straight up. It's like,
Yeah. Well, the switching gears, a lot I want to talk about tonight, brother. Jalen Brunson. He is on a tear, 39, 4 assists, 6 3-pointers versus Boston. 45 points a game before that against Chicago, 43 against Milwaukee, 35 against Chicago again, 35 against the Kings, and now they're a 3 seed could possibly be a 2 without Randall. Without Randall, can you possibly make a case for Brunson being an MVP candidate?
I mean, you could truly make the case. Look, here in the New York media, it's like 50-50. 50 people think that the Knicks can't go much further without Randall, and then other 50 are like, see, they didn't have Randall most of the season, and they've been doing well without him. To which I've never said that Brunson wasn't a good player and wasn't an all-star type of caliber player. I've never said that. I've always said that Randall he is who he is. What you got from the Lakers is the same player. He didn't get better. He just played more minutes. So he averaged out the numbers because because Thibodeau gives him minutes, but he's not a better player. His numbers look better. So the Lakers weren't giving him 35, 40 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that he had that, his numbers are better, but that doesn't necessarily make him like a great player. Now he's a good player. He's an all-star type of caliber player.
You're talking about Randall still.
Randall, yeah, but he couldn't stay on the court because of injuries, and he's had injuries.
So you're saying that essentially he wasn't that big a loss.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and not to say that the Knicks lost height on the team, so it makes it a little bit different. But they have enough players on that team that have been able to help Brunson, even though he's the one shouldering most of the points now. So, like, he deserves an opportunity to be an MVP candidate, right? Because
Yeah.
he's done more than a player like Embiid has done, if you think about it. Because he's been on the court and max 25 minutes plus since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I was reading this from NBA Central, and
Not
all
to say
these.
that he's better than Embiid. I'm just saying
Right.
he's done has been consistent and has helped his team to be competitive, and right now they're in the playoffs, right? So
yeah,
isn't that what you look for MVP, the most valuable player, right?
Yeah, if you dig into most valuable player, I would say so. Now you say Anunoby, he's a former All-Star, but he's been in and out too for a lot of this stretch run, and they're still winning games.
Right.
This is what NBA.com's final MVP ladder is, according to NBA Central, and two or three of these NBA sites I follow on the X out. Nikola Jokic is in line. He's the favorite to get his third MVP in 4 years, man. SGA from Oklahoma City's number 2. They still got Chet Holmgren. Now you got Luka. Now Luka's got, obviously he's got Kyrie Irving at number 3. A lot of people like Luka. They've been on a little bit of a tear here. Giannis is number 4. He's still got Damian Lillard, but their defense is terrible. And the coach is really, he's Doc Rivers. So Jason Tatum is 5. Now, they've got the best record in the league, but you've got Brown and you've got Porzingis there. And number 6 is Sabonis. Kind of surprised, but he's playing great. He's having a career year with the Kings. And, of course, number 7, you got Anthony Edwards. And then you've got Brunson at number 8 and Durant at 9 and Booker at 10. They've missed a lot of games.
Right.
And Edwards has been playing great basketball too. Not sure if he would get consideration. I've got to look at the games he's missed to make sure. You've got to play 65 games. I just think Brunson's in the conversation, and I don't think he was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think that the way that the scoring is going and the way that the NBA is now,
yeah,
most people would have those numbers and those players at those numbers. We're looking at Brunson as an old school type of point guard, right?
Yeah.
But an old school type of point guard that can take over a game. So we haven't seen that in a while, man. So because people are not used to seeing that, his number's not going to be high. I
don't know who I would compare him to. Maybe a Jason Kidd.
Maybe like a Nash.
He's a Nash maybe.
Yeah, he's gonna get his points. He's gonna keep the team afloat, and if he has to, he'll do what he can to try to carry the load.
Yeah.
And you don't see that from a lot of players because he's got 3 or 4 people on the team that can.
That's true.
That can score.
That's true.
So it's a scoring league. With Tom Thibodeau playing defense, that's something different as well. That's why the Knicks are winning as well, because the turnover ratio for that they have going for playing defense is very high compared to other teams. So, I'm not here to say that he should be the top 3 candidate because they have a specific perception. They have a specific list of what they want an MVP to be. But what I do say and what I will say is that he is the MVP of the Knicks. I can say that without no doubt and with clarification.
Right.
But again, it's the Knicks, so a lot of people, and they've always been kind of like, and I'm not saying that because I'm a New Yorker. I said it because I lived out of New York and I've heard of it. People just don't. The Knicks in the media is like, oh, that's just New York. That's the Knicks. They're popular because they're in New York, and it's like, no, because they had different runs at it in the past. The whole OJ scene that happened when they were playing the Rockets. Like,
I want to go there next. Yeah.
New York has never been. They've really hadn't had a team that were like media darlings and like everybody love them, right? So, they've always had blue collar teams, and even the time with Carmelo wasn't my favorite time frame, but they had Linsanity for like what 2 weeks,
there's 2 weeks in
know,
February, about
and
12
then
years ago.
and then after that, like nothing. So they're not your media darlings. They're not gonna, there's no shine except for here in New York. We bring them up because that we love basketball, but if you they're not the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA by far. So they're not
that's true.
They're not gonna get that kind of respect. And now it's so hard to get superstar
even though they're in a big market. I mean,
yeah, but the market has nothing to do with the way that the
Knicks are being portrayed.
Yeah, and most players don't want to play here because of taxes. They don't want to come here and pay high taxes.
Yeah,
so,
seems like they don't like Dolan, but this coaching staff. I just hope that they don't wear him the Thibs. Maybe you're right. Maybe he may wear down Brunson before, and this could be a Derrick Rose situation.
Yeah, of course.
Like, and they don't do a run here in New York.
But would
it'd be cool to see the guy win an MVP. It goes to tell you that it was that much better of a free agent signing for the Knicks. I still think, even if he don't get it, it was out of the park home run free agent signing.
It's a huge kicker for the Knicks, but the problem is that the Knicks for the last 5 to 10 seasons have been so guard heavy that when they find a big man, it's hard for them to keep him because they don't work the system that some of these coaches in the past had, like D'Antoni. Like even if you go as far as Phil Jackson, D'Antoni, and you just rumble off names.
I know D'Antoni was terrible.
They would. I don't know what they want. Like New Yorkers could care less.
Yeah.
If there was another Patrick Ewing, like we don't need a big man. We are used to that. We know that. And that's the past. But what we do want is a winner, and we got one in Brunson. But we need, but he's going to need support. He's got 2 former teammates he used to play with that's giving him a little bit of like shine and helping him out, and they're helping each other out because they're true friends. They rely on each other.
Who else did he play with? I know he played with Hart
and DiVincenzo.
Oh, okay. Dante DiVincenzo. Nice.
All three of them won in Villanova. So, but they even tried talking up to bring in Clark, the former coach there. But
yeah.
Look, he's an MVP for New Yorkers, for the Knicks. That's not.
You think he'll finish that in the voting?
No, the voting. He's not going to, unless they make it to the NBA Finals and they win. Then he'll definitely
we won't find out until later. Of course, this is a regular season award, so
right. So, and I'm just saying, if he'll get an MVP award, it'd be because he'd take the team to the finals. But I'm not sure that's going to happen. There's not enough depth on that team. And even if Randall was on that team, it wouldn't give him more depth. They'd just give him more shots. And for me, as someone watching basketball, I don't want more shots. I want shots that are made. You take 100 shots, but if you only make,
don't you think this would be a good selling point if they did win a round or two, to a Giannis to come here next summer in a trade?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said, and I will keep saying this: the next two big men that they get, whether a small forward in the center or a power forward in the center or a small forward in another power forward, they just need to be younger. They just need to be, between the ages of 22 to 25. If it's anybody older than that, they should just not even think about it.
Okay.
Don't go trying to chase jersey sales, or you're going to get exactly what you chase.
I don't think they've done that. If they were chasing jersey sales, I think they would have got Mitchell.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad.
It was a good move. That was addition by subtraction.
I'm glad that they didn't get Mitchell.
Right. Me too.
I'm glad that I don't like these whole rumors about Paul George. I don't like these rumors about
he's too injury prone here lately.
All these guys, Lorenzen. I would dislike the basketball team now that I see slow their pace. The more they slow down in offense, the less likely they are to be productive. Now they can slow out another team and play defense and slow down, but that's why Randall on the team not being on the team doesn't affect them, because again, he was just getting minutes and they were just giving him the ball.
Empty calories, missing a lot of shots.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, and plus he was a big dude trying to shoot threes and just throwing up 15-footers when he could have just been attacking the basket. on most of the teams.
Yeah, he was really bad in the playoffs. He was trying too hard and pressing, man.
Again, he's a good player. He's not a great player. He's not like he could be.
Yeah,
he's an all-star player because he played the minutes and he made stats, but that's not going to take you to another level. That's not going to take you to a championship level, man. Because there's a lot of players that do that in the NBA already, right? There's a lot of players that fulfill the stats like crazy, but they're not going to in the championship level. They can't take you.
Yeah,
right.
Chris Webber.
I mean, even now you have
like a cheap suit, man, down the stretch.
You have guys like Harden, Westbrook. You got guys like what's his guy's name here? Brooks, not Brooks. What's his name in for the Suns?
Oh, Booker.
Booker. You got Booker.
Yeah,
like,
jump shooting guys.
You know, even if they take the basket and get, just because you get a lot of points will not mean that you're going to win and get a championship.
That's true.
Even like what's this guy's name? Embiid. Like he can score 47 points. It doesn't matter if you score 47 points, but your team.
Yeah, he proved that last year.
You know, if you score 5 points, you know it doesn't matter. These are just but people love that. They love the scoring, man. They see the net just and they see the dunks and they're getting all happy, but it just doesn't. Those don't add up. Just because you make one player cannot be the only one scoring points, and that's
that's. I want to move on, but that's the only thing I'm afraid of with Brunson is maybe he's turning in too much of a volume shooter. I like the Brunson of last year in the playoffs who dished it off when he needed to.
Right.
Hopefully they'll pull that rein back a little bit as they get more in the playoff games when you start having to play a half court game.
But because they don't have Randall, they run. So that keeps.
I wonder how that's going to work in the playoffs when a lot of it's half court though.
Yeah, well, they can't change. They're just going to have to attack the teams and they're just going to have to play their style of basketball.
It's going to be fun. I hope they can hold home court in the first round because I love those crowds in Madison Square Garden. This time next week, we'll be talking about it. Monday, I think next Monday or Tuesday, start these playing games with all these Western Conference teams. That's going to be fun. Got to get your thoughts, though. What do you think about how much of the J.Simpson stuff did you follow? Obviously, he died yesterday. We found out he died yesterday of prostate cancer. I did about 25 minutes on him. Go to get your thoughts. We're about the same age. I followed it all the way through, man. I knew where I was during the chase, before the chase, all that stuff, dude.
Well, it was the only thing on the media, right? There was nothing bigger than O.J. Simpson and the chase and then the court case. Judge Ito, Johnny Cochran.
It's like a TV show, right?
Right. And you saying that's good. It flows to what I was going to say. And when they remade the movies about OJ, you know, the 3 or 4 movies that they put on.
They put that huge documentary, which I just got done watching. I think I told you last week.
Yeah, within the last 10 years, they got about 3 to 5 different OJ type of movies and documentaries. And that's just opened up Pandora's box to not get over it. The fact that what happened and, you know, him himself, he didn't keep himself out of the media as well, you know, getting arrested for doing things he wasn't supposed to do and saying things. And so I want to say this. We saw him as a broadcaster, as somebody that was on TV.
So you do remember him as calling the games. Do you remember the Naked Gun movies?
Naked Gun.
I'm not going to assume you know. I did too. It's funny.
And he was, you know, he played his part the way they wanted it to. I think he got a lot of slack from other people about that, but that's just the way it was back then. You know, I just give props for him being the athlete that he was when he did what he had to do. And the fact that the media is like pushing all this other stuff out, I don't know one person who's human who hasn't made any mistakes or hasn't done anything wrong, but it doesn't defy the like their character or who they are.
Okay.
Some people get over it and move forward. Now he didn't, right? So that was the issue with him. Like he just kept getting into trouble and doing bad things. So, but again, the man's passed. He was a legend on the football field. He was a ruckus in the real world. But you know, I hope for whatever it is that you know, may he rest in peace, right? Like any man who passes.
Did you watch that game? I want to say it was like game 5 or game 6, June 17th. I remember everything I did that day and that night. June 17th, 1994, 30-year anniversary coming up in 2 months. Do you remember watching that Knicks Rockets game?
Nobody watched any basketball game, Robert. First of all, nobody watched the game. As soon as the game came in, I think it was like maybe middle of the first or second.
Okay.
Right? It just cut off.
Take me back to your day that day.
Yeah,
you were 12. I was 12. You might have been 13. I don't know.
Why are you trying to age me, Robert? No, but like, I'm just sitting like now. I'm just in front of a screen and I'm watching the game and just cuts off and it's just a car.
The white Bronco.
Just going by itself. The Bronco. The white Bronco. Like,
was you aware? Did you follow that? See, I remember it happened on a Sunday night. I watched Sports Center every night too. I was living with my dad in Florida, but I came up here in Tennessee for the summer. I was at my mom's place, and I was watching Sports Center every night, and they said, yeah, the former wife of J.Simpson was murdered, and a waiter, Ron Goldman. And that's all we heard about it. And people around my circles and stuff were saying, well, maybe she was into drugs and stuff. That maybe some drug dealer. So
right.
That was on like Monday, right?
Right.
Wednesday, I see a news report that OJ is the only suspect. And then gets kind of quiet. Friday, I go bowling with a friend of mine. And I come back and I'm watching. I wanted to hurry up and get back and see the end of that Knicks Houston game. I wanted the Knicks to finally win without Jordan. I'm like, the white Bronco, OJ's got a gun to his head. And you're watching the game in the background. And I'm staying up late. We're talking midnight our time, 1 o'clock. I don't know if you was in New York or here.
Right. No, I was in Tennessee.
Okay, well, we're talking close to midnight. Right. Remember, he was on LA time, Pacific time, and he followed him to the house, and it was getting dark their time. So, it was really dark our time in June.
You know what ticked me off? Because Bob Costas goes is like, oh, by the way, the score of the game is, and you're like, the hell?
Yeah.
You didn't see the game because
I think the Knicks won, and they lost game 7, didn't they?
No, I think they lost that game.
Yeah, either way. They lost a series.
No matter what. It wasn't OJ's fault that they lost, but I mean, we lived that time. Like there was only a few things.
Did you follow like the whole thing? Like
that was all you could see on CNN. Remember, like
it
was like 24 hours news, and that's how they made their big name. Of one of it was on the Desert Storm War.
I was always watching CNN back then. CNN was the bomb because Fox wasn't out then. I don't even think MSNBC was out then.
No.
This is how court TV got invented.
That is how court TV. That's right.
Yeah.
Because they only had one media outlet allowed in the court. Remember?
Yeah. And my dad, they recorded this thing. Bob Costas. I was listening to Bob Costas' interview this morning from yesterday, and apparently, OJ, with the gun to his head, Al Collins driving, he calls the studio to get in touch with Bob Costas at 30 Rock. Somebody answers, one of the technicians. He says, this is O.J. Simpson. There's like 95 million people watching this guy. And the guy thought it was a prank and hung up on O.J. Simpson. They were trying to get a character witness from Bob Costas. Bob Costas told that story yesterday morning.
Yeah, I mean,
on NBC.
You got to understand too.
That's crazy, right?
There wasn't many people that had them phones back then, man.
No,
it was only the real estate agents,
right?
Doctors, and
they were real thick in '94.
Yeah,
it might have been just car phones in '94.
Yeah, just regular.
We couldn't afford nothing like that.
Like connect them to your lighter.
Yeah. Al Collins, you know who this is? Bleep bleep.
I'm just not for. I'm not like, and I'm not gonna say he didn't do it or he did do it. Like whatever happened. Like my opinion doesn't matter. But it's just like how many people are like, well, thank God he's dead, or like, well, you know what? Let's talk about the case and stuff.
Yeah,
and
Caitlyn Jenner said good riddance and all this, and
I'm like, I mean, the guy died of cancer. He had a bad life. Like,
yeah, he never really got his. And I watched that 7-hour documentary. I went back, like I told you, I went back and watched it the last 2 weeks. I knew he had prostate cancer. His last post on the X app was back in the Super Bowl, talking about Patrick Mahomes and said, "I'm not in hospice." Who's saying I'm in? He's always jolly and stuff.
yeah, man.
OJ, he thought he could go back and everything was going to be good. And a lot of people thought he was guilty. His friends like, "No, man, we're not cool no more." Like Cedric the Entertainer later said in 2008 Barbershop, OJ did it. So
listen, I mean,
but that was weird. It's like he didn't realize the gravity or something of the situation. And
I think the worst part about it was this case made him vilified him, but
it made him more infamous. He was more famous.
Yeah, it made him, and I was like, all that stuff about what he accomplished went out the door. And the worst part was, whether he did do it or whether he didn't do it, like everybody affected by the families of the two parties, right?
Yeah, I feel really bad for
because
Mr.
the kids, his kids, and then his ex-wives, or his former wife's family,
yeah.
It's just a terrible situation, and for on the outside looking in to say anything about that and be like good riddance, like what Kenner said, or anybody was like, yeah, well, he's trash, he should have died anyways. Like that to me is like kind of really like
morbid, wicked.
Yeah, it's just like like people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say he's right. I mean, he could have got made right with the Lord here.
Exactly.
There's
That's
no deathbed confession.
Right. Like, but it's just, I think after that case, the OJ that we first saw before the murder case passed.
Yes.
That's what I feel.
We saw in the documentary. He started hanging out with some shady friends in South Florida after that.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's right to say, because I didn't know him personally.
Yeah.
We knew him like from TV.
Did you watch that Made in America documentary?
No.
If you get a chance, watch it. It's an ESPN documentary. It came out in 2016.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch that one yet.
It's good, man. It's
I've watched a few of them, but I'm not.
I know they had 1 to 30 for 30 on that day, June 17th, 1994. Yeah, 95 million people watched that. 100 million. Do you remember? Did your class let you watch the verdict in 95 a year later?
No, but we all were.
Where people were talking about it in school.
You remember Channel 1 News
in Austin Peay?
No, Channel 1, like the that was in the schools, the middle schools and high school.
Okay, yeah.
You guys ever get that Channel 1?
Well, I was going to school, and I was in middle school at that time in Destin, Florida. My dad had moved there.
So there was this guy. What's his name? He was Cooper, Anderson Cooper.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He used to do this show for like high schools and middle schools called Channel 1.
Okay.
And
so you watched it then?
Yeah, so it was on TV through that televised news.
Did y'all watch it live?
No. So they wouldn't put it on during class, of course, but like it was on if you go in between class.
Yeah.
Or if you watched it in the morning. So like we heard about all this stuff, all the news in the morning. We'd watch Channel 1 News for like the first 15 to 20 minutes.
People were talking about, yeah.
So that's how we had, like, they talk about that.
Were people excited that he got off?
Well, I was in Tennessee, so
you in Clarksville?
Yeah, I heard, and I didn't go, but I heard there was a few churches that did that got together. They were like and did visuals and stuff. Like I heard, I don't know if it was true.
Okay,
but this because I went to a county school, so.
Mm-hmm.
In the country, I didn't hear anybody doing anything like that, but I heard of churches in the city. I think there was an NAACP group as well that might have done something at Austin P.
Okay.
This is before we went to school, of course. We were younger.
Yeah.
They might have done a couple like debates and stuff about OJ in his trial. But yeah, it's I don't like to think back on that time frame because of what happened with the Knicks. So
yeah, it does kind of cloud your mind as a. Here's my thing. I told this I'll tell this to you now. October 3rd, it was on a Tuesday, 1995. The reason why it was so vividly for me, because when I was living with my dad, when they decided to move down there, they just moved there in 94. Speaking of 94, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was back and forth. My mom lived up here. My dad lived, depending on, whichever, if I miss my friends, I move back here. Then I get into it with my stepdad and move back there. Okay. We had a hurricane heading that way, Hurricane Opal. And the teachers were kind of mailing it in that week because they knew that schools were going to be closed possibly for a week or two. Later, we found out it was going to be 2 weeks out because this hurricane was like a category 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. It was a 3 when it actually hit. They brought the TV in class. And then the woman, Orenthal J.Simpson, not guilty. And that's, she's reading that. And everybody was cheering. I was kind of cheering too. At that time, I was buying into all the hype that those great lawyers were bringing from OJ.
You must have quit.
Don't fit. You must have quit. The racist law, cop, the Mark Furman stuff. Right. You start maybe they're sprinkling around blood evidence. So I'm buying all that. And people were hyped up, like I said. And then later on, we all evacuated. Midnight after that night, we left, evacuated to like Atlanta where my stepmom's people were. And I was out of school for 2 weeks. But then I got older and reading into the case. And I realized, I think, OJ, my opinion, I think he did do it. Especially after watching that documentary, The Made in America, his own agent. This is not some person that dislikes him. His own agent who was helping him hide his merchandise so the Goldmans couldn't get it because, remember, he lost that civil suit later on. Mm-hmm. He says he got high with OJ one night, smoked the joint with him, and OJ said, if she wouldn't have came at me with that knife, she'd be alive today. That's what he claims that OJ told him. And then he killed her. The guy's running back with the glasses, which I'm thinking, why did you have to come back in the middle of the night to bring this woman some glasses? You're 25, she's 36. She's really hot and attractive. It feels like he's just trying to, score with this Nicole Brown, right? But OJ probably hears him coming up, sees the blood, hides behind the bushes, guts him, then runs off. And, of course, we know about the stuff with the ring finger. There's blood on his Bronco. It was open and shut. And once I got older to find out what it was, I'm like, oh, my God. But he had the dream team to find all, how they say it, just a reason beyond a reason. They planted reasonable doubt. Now I'm 14. We're 13, 14 years old. They planted reasonable doubt in our head. And it turned into a case against LA instead of O.J. Simpson. Kind of remind me of the New Jack City, Wesley Snipes, where that prosecutor says, this is not an indictment on the city. This is your case, No. Did you watch that? It was a great movie, man.
Yeah, it is an awesome movie.
Remember the old man shot him at the end? So I got to watching that thing thinking, I wonder if Mr. Goldman, looking back, I'm surprised that he didn't try to kill OJ. He was really upset about his son. It was his son, he was close. And he was going to make his own restaurant stuff,
There was so much about that. We were like a slumber. We were nearly freshmen in high school. But they were feeding us the stuff in the media, like people chasing OJ and the Bronco as he gets into his driveway, like people getting together. Yeah. There was just a lot of stuff that
the comedians had a field day with it.
Yeah, and we lived through that. We watched it. We didn't know whether it was good or bad, and we had a like I said, it was to me. I was like, it's just another court case, but it was bigger than that. I look back at it and I was like, wow, this guy. I thought it was a court case about a football player. That's as simple as I kept it. Like, and I'm like, this guy's old. Can he kill a person? Like,
and he's almost our age now. He was 47, and I'm 42. About to be. I'm like, man, I'm pretty close to OJ's age when all this went down.
Yeah, but like, but they always talking about they did a pretty good job. His team, if you think about it. Stating that he was, had a lot of football injuries, had a lot of, problems with his back. How could he do it? And so, I mean, listen to the bits and pieces.
They had, remember, what's his name, Shaq or whatever, that other lawyer. He was a forensics guy. He made their forensics guy look bad because he didn't wear the proper gloves.
Yeah.
He didn't wear any gloves.
The guy that looked the worst was like the police officer, the chief. What's his name? The
Furman.
Yeah.
He
was like, "Well, what'd you do?"
Well, they found him on tape using racial slurs.
Yeah, and it's like
he's like in that documentary. He's like, "Yeah, I messed up." You ought to watch that, dude. If you get a chance, if you got cable, it's on demand. Now, of course, I'm in Nashville, but if you got Xfinity when you get back here,
you got what, ESPN? What was on?
It's on the ESPN doc. Yeah,
the 30
Made in America. Put in OJ Made in America.
Yeah, I look.
Or you could stream it. It may cost a stream, but it's free on demand. It's good, man.
Streaming
channels. Gives you the history of the
city, kids, man. So I got most of them streaming channels.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's food for thought, brother. Any thoughts on the national championships, the women's? I mean, Carolina kind of dominated the boards.
Yeah, I figured that Iowa was gonna make a better of a run, but you saw the ladies. They looked tired after the first half. They looked.
The bigger team just won.
Yeah, then the bigger team, they have more depth. South Carolina's they have more depth.
They won the old-fashioned way: rebound, defense, and depth.
Yeah, so but I was hoping that Iowa could make a run, and I didn't. Like I told you, man, I was like, it don't matter if she scores 20 or 50. The team had to put up their part, do their part, and it didn't work out.
I think it's more impressive that the team's not that good. She's like Larry Bird taking Indiana State to the finals, man. That's what Jason Whitlock said the other day, and I thought he had a pretty good point.
That's a pretty fair comparison, but you got to give some of those girls a lot of credit for. She made those players better.
Yeah.
So, but they stepped up to accept the challenge, right?
Especially they're big, which was only Stuckey, the girl with the Afro puff. She was like 6'1". They're big for South Carolina's like 6'7".
Right. So,
that redhead, the chick with the red in her hair.
Yeah, you don't see that all the time when you have like Jameer Nelson when he played for Temple.
Yeah, you got a good memory. Yeah,
he
went on to play for the Magic.
Yeah, and he carried Temple, but he made those players. Was it Temple?
I thought it was one of those Northeast teams.
It is Philadelphia. Oh, Philadelphia's it was Temple.
No, what's the other one in Philly? It might have been Villanova.
No, it wasn't Nova.
Go ahead, man. I'll look him up.
And it was like and he made all those guys better though, and they stepped up to the challenge during the dance. So that's what it was. It wasn't, or like even Dwayne Wade with Marquette.
St. Joe's.
Oh, St. Joseph's. That's right.
Same area, Northeast.
Yeah. It was Philly, St. Joe's, that's right, St. Joe's. My bad. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's in my head, but
it's okay. I mean, so it's
I
forgot to ask you, what do you think about John Calipari running to getting out of Dodge, taking that Arkansas job?
I think it was the fact that Kentucky fans, God bless us, so they won a championship.
Yeah,
the administration wants a championship, and John Calipari is winning, but he's not winning a championship. So I'm sure there was a couple people saying, "Man, you got a year to buck up or get out."
He didn't like Phil. He wanted to get out before he got fired. Remember, Shaka Smart left Texas and went to Marquette.
Yeah, he got out before, and that's okay. He knew he was.
I think it's a smart move.
Right, and then he's still not a loser. I don't understand these people. Like, it's not easy to take teams to the dance consecutive years. Like, they make it
Well,
sound.
he just kept wanting to go with the one and done model more.
I mean, you can only work with what you got, Robert. So,
Yeah, but his model was just bring in people instead of he got out of the development business. He got into the salesman business.
Listen, we all know NCAA basketball, college basketball is a business, from the administrators all the way down to the person holding the towel.
But you're okay with him losing to St. Peter's in the first round when he's got all this talent?
Okay,
Oakland.
I'm okay with him trying, and he at least went out and got some players through the transfer portal that was supposed to help.
You're saying he was adapting?
Yeah, he was.
He just wasn't fast enough.
No, it's not fast. It was just the players that he got didn't step up to the
jail. Yeah,
they didn't step up to the challenge.
Yeah, he's too much in between salesman, recruiter rather than coach. And you could see it because he used to be a very good developer of talent. I told you about Marcus Camby.
Yeah,
UMass back in the day. He was really good with Memphis too.
Yeah, I mean, but you still got to get players. And I think the fact of the matter was that Calipari had opportunities to get some players, and maybe he didn't get what he wanted. So he tried to get what he could. That wasn't good enough for Kentucky administration, for the fan base. So, and he kept hearing it. The last thing you want to hear is that you're a loser. When you're not a loser, you just lost one game, right? Because they made it to the dance. Like,
yeah.
If Austin Peay can make it to the dance every year for 6 years straight, you'd think they'd fire the coach?
Well, the expectations are not the same. Kentucky's Nike. Alabama is not going to be okay with getting to the SEC championship game or getting to the play. They want to win national championships.
Everybody wants to win, Robert. The only certain people could take it.
Yeah, but there's certain expectations at certain programs. You know that.
Yeah, I know. And
Ohio State, Alabama, Kentucky basketballs, that's a big brand.
Oh, I know. You don't got to tell me. I watched Kentucky. I rooted for them for a few.
Me too.
Years when I was younger, I liked all those players. Rex, they had Rex. They had people like Pope. They had a lot of players, man.
Pope, that's who they hired. How cheap of a hire that is.
I don't know if that hire
isn't that Billy Gillespie 2.0.
I don't know if they're gonna that's gonna help them, but it's gonna bring support, right? It's gonna bring that fan base back to, we got a good old boy back from our back in the day, So I think that was just to make the fans and the administration kind of like settle down because they just lost such a big.
My friend's a big Kentucky fan. He hated that. Why didn't they go after Billy Donovan or bring back Pitino, a big proven name?
Right. Well, Pope's he's made a lot of he's earned his spot to go there. I don't know if they're going to win.
You're saying because they got BYU to the tournament?
I mean, listen, BYU is a different animal than Kentucky. He's going to get players who want to go there just because it's Kentucky.
Right.
But he's got to find the right players and the right mix, and that's not an easy job, man. That's just because it got.
So you're cool with that? Cool with that hire?
I'm okay with it because that's going to bring.
You would be disappointed for them not going big.
Well, who are they going to get that wants to go to Kentucky?
Donovan.
He don't want to go there.
Donovan coached there.
He don't want to go there no more. You want to see and
you
want people like this in your ear, like, yo, you don't want that, man. Like, you cannot depend on a team of 4 guys to take you to the championship. You cannot.
Yeah.
Now, what I always say, if you're going to win a championship, you got to have 6 to 8 players.
Yeah.
And they all got to score average at least 12 to 14 points each. That's how you win a championship.
Yeah, they apparently they went after my guy at Hurley. He's going to stay with Connecticut. What's your thoughts on Connecticut, man? They really held their own, didn't they?
Yeah, and I thought that Purdue was going to win that game because I knew Zach Edey was gonna do his thing, and he did his thing. He scored his points.
He did.
He fulfilled.
Nobody else helped it. They never had the guard. I'm surprised they got as far as they did.
And
I think he might get drafted, don't you?
Oh yeah, he's worked on the skills. He's been the best basketball player for 2 years in a row, I think. You can't. I mean, I was looking at him like being like, one of those players like, like Kareem or like,
oh wow,
just carrying a team like that. But he just, you know what? He missed too many free throws. The team missed free throws. The team fouled too much. They weren't playing. They were playing Connecticut's game. They didn't play their own game, and that's what happens. And you go in there and you're in Connecticut is deep, man. They had a lot of good players there.
They're deep, and they play defense.
They play defense, so I gotta give them credit. But I had both of them in a championship run, anyways. I had them both coming out at the end. I just had Purdue winning by 7 points, and it would end up happening that they got tore up from the floor.
Yeah, Connecticut. I told a girl at work. I said I think they'll cover every game. They did. Wish I would have just bet nothing but Connecticut. Because everybody else kind of let me down.
I didn't want to be let down by Connecticut's 3 tall guys. Because the 3 tall guys, they weren't strong scorers. They're like very passive. They shoot a little bit. They make good passes.
But they just had good team chemistry, man.
That's what it was. They ended up playing. They
didn't have any megastar, even though their big is going to the NBA. I just read that.
Yeah, they got stronger too. They played better together as they were winning. So they all found a way to win together. And that's sometimes what you have to do when you're in the dance. And they did that. So kudos to them. I mean, I thought, like I said, I thought Purdue was going to take it. But,
Hey, man, you got to listen to old Rothstein over here.
Oh.
What's your thoughts wrapping up here? So you're no longer doing Keith Engel. He just going solo on Fridays now.
Yeah, he's doing an interview show now.
Going back to that. I heard of something about that earlier. I didn't catch all
for him. Like he's getting to do what he wants to do, and that's important. Always do what you want to do and what you feel comfortable doing.
You still doing that forkball show?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one tonight. I've been in a little bit of like back and forth due to.
Now, what's the name of that channel? It's on the.
It's Let's Talk Sports, LTS.
LTS, and it's called Forkball.
It's
going to be on tonight later on.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a show tonight. There's a Mets game tonight. The Yankees game got canceled.
Okay, who the Mets play tonight?
They play the Royals.
Okay. All right, I might check that out, man. Especially if I'm working tomorrow. I may be working.
I'm gonna do a recap of the game of the last few games. They're almost at 20 games. It's been incredible. Like the baseball's been real entertaining this season. If you guys get a chance, don't worry about who's playing. Just watch it because you think a team's coming in strong, and then you see something different happen. And
Did you see any promise with the Mets so far?
Oh man, they beat the Braves last night, 16-4, man. It was nice. It was crazy.
I told you when you take everything off of them, they do better when there's no spotlight on the Mets.
Yeah, and then you know what happened too is that the guys start hitting and then they get comfortable, and that's what you want. You want a game or two where you bust off the rust a little bit and you get going and they got a game. In the last 7 games they won 5 games. So
nice.
They'll be okay. I told people they were going to be okay.
Have you been to a Mets game this year?
Yeah, I went to the opening week. I went to one.
Nice.
I'm going tomorrow night.
It's April, man. Baseball's back.
Yeah, I go tonight. I'm going for the Dwight Gooden retirement number on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going.
I used to be friends with him on Facebook by the way, that was me that added you. I'm back on Facebook. Check that out. I've only got like 80 friends, but I got to start over. I love to bring him on the program. He does interviews.
Yeah, man. And I just, I'm glad for, like I said, people make mistakes, man. Like, you can't.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's forgiving Doc Gooden.
You can't get stuck on what they did. You got to get stuck on what they did.
Well, I mean, let's not get there's mistakes and then there's double murder. Stephen A. Smith said he'd put him under the jail.
Yeah, but he was acquitted. He went to jail for something.
Mistakes of what not good, drugs, alcohol, DUIs. Double murder's double murder. That's selector chair stuff, man.
Look, man, he was acquitted. That's all I'm gonna say. He was acquitted.
All right.
Wow,
you're one of those guys. Hey,
no, listen, he went to jail for
you, brother.
He went to jail for something else. Like
he did do 8 years for that robbery.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Like,
that robbery's like trading places or something.
I would never say OJ was never guilty of anything. All I'm saying is that, you know, that's what media does, bro. They give you that little, you know,
that's
little
right.
hope.
The Lord sees everything, man.
Yeah. So at the end, and I'm not gonna, like I said, like you gonna piss on his grave, man. Like
no.
You know, that's kind of I'm not gonna say that's as bad.
Nobody is, but everybody knew that since we're talking about it. I mean, most people knew that, you know, OJ did it, like Saturday Entertainer said, but
yeah, I'm gonna try.
It's most people's opinion.
Yes, what I'm gonna try to do is try to lock down a date for What the Football. It's just New York baseball, it's just the Yankees and the Mets. It's the AL,
man.
Yeah, the AL East, the NL East breakdowns and how they're doing within their own divisions. And I'm doing the NFC East show with Alan Perez on Let's Talk Sports. And I'm trying to get this
that again. Wednesday?
That is on Sunday. It's been pushed to Sunday nights, but it was on Wednesday nights. And
in 13 days we'll be doing that draft. You got your top 10. I've got my top 10. I need to put it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that tonight.
Give me a copy of that, and I'll put it at the bottom of the screen while we're doing the show that Thursday.
Yeah, I'm gonna do two of them. I'm gonna do a list.
April 25th, folks.
I'm gonna do a list with those that I think are gonna go 1 through 10 or whatever, and then and I'm gonna do one with trades because I think there's gonna be a lot of movement.
Okay. All right. Then you said trade. Now you're saying trades. First you said no trade.
No. We'll do one with no. The show that we do together. We'll do.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll do straight up.
And of course, we'll be telling the audience here, I'm going to be doing live updates too, because I've got a guy that I follow that goes to the draft every year. We'll have it before TV. And if you give me your mock draft, we'll scroll it across the screen just like mine. I think we could do that.
Yeah, you know who created the ticker?
Certain we can do that.
I made a lot of money on that. You know who created the ticker?
Who?
Can you guess?
Snyder?
Huh?
Daniel Snyder?
Nah, Bloomberg.
Oh, Mike Bloomberg. Okay. Well, hey, he's a billionaire, man.
Yeah, man.
Bloomberg News. Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez. Appreciate it, man. We're 2 minutes over.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll see you next week regardless.
Yeah, man.
You're on Sports Go, same time, same place. Have a good night, man.
People.